Commissioner Hill? Here. Mr. J? Mr. Long?
Here.
And Chair Shippey.
All right, thank you. And everyone can also tell we have a new Ben too,
Good man.
a new Ben.
Yes.
Nice to have you,
Thank you
Ben.
so much, guys. Thanks for having me.
So I'm gonna ask you, Madam Clerk, before we talk a little bit about the agenda. Do we have any public comment?
We do have two public comments. First will be Mr. Brian Moss from the Reno Aces.
All right. Hello.
Hello. Sure, the phone's working. It's working, right?
Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Just thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all. On behalf of the Reno Aces, I just want to sincerely thank the RSCVA for your support in bringing Banana Ball to Reno and that event featuring the Savannah Party Animals and the Texas Tailgaters. In fact, today, June 26th, marks the 5-year anniversary of the first Banana Ball game ever played. So happy Banana Ball Day. Discovered that this morning.
Okay.
Here. This entire event was just such a pleasure to be a part of. Their staff was amazing to work with, very professional, appreciative, and respectful of our venue. In fact, the players were so taken back by the mayor's proclamation that they literally passed it around and posted about it on their personal social media accounts. And this marked the first time that any city had recognized them in that way.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, we love them.
Yeah,
We have adopted them as family.
yeah, no, we did.
Yeah, they were incredible.
Yeah, and and thanks to your partnership, we sold over 29,000 tickets across 3 nights.
That's
Just an incredible number on its own. But even more impactful, 45% of those tickets were purchased from out of town visitors, greater than 50 miles away. That means nearly half our audience traveled into our region, booked hotel rooms, dined locally, and experienced everything about the greatness of what Northern Nevada has to offer. In fact, we ran into a family that came here from Oregon, where one of their kids chose this event over his own high school graduation. True. This wasn't just a baseball series, it was a national event. In fact, each show had over 40,000 views on their YouTube channel. It also confirmed that Greater Nevada Field and Reno itself are more than capable of hosting emerging premier tourism-driven experiences. A special thank you to Mike Largetta and Valerie Segar in your leadership and hands-on support. It was key in the partnership in making this event as successful as it was. As we look ahead, we're already working to bring Banana Ball back in 2026, and we ask for your continued support to make this a reality. Thank you again for believing in this event and our team and in Reno's growing reputation as a destination for premier experiences like this.
Thank you so much. How many of you went? That's great. That's great. I got to meet with some of them and they said they were just blown away by Reno's hospitality. So I wasn't surprised. Great job, Mike. Thank you.
Team of it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Next we have Rafael Villanueva. He's speaking regarding to item F3.
Raphael, coming up.
Good morning. My name is Rafael Villanueva, CEO of Travel Nevada. I'm here to talk about and announce that we're very excited to be bringing back the Nevada Governor's Conference of Tourism to Reno. This will be the first time. It's not just organized and developed by Travel Nevada, but it is in collaboration with the RSCVA. Mike Largetta, who's one of our commissioners, made an offer that it was very difficult to refuse, saying that because RSCVA has an expertise that we do not, understanding the properties and the needs of Reno Tahoe area, and it's very important for us to work along with them and along with their team. We look forward to this interlocal agreement that allows us to use the RSCVA's expertise, their staff, their knowledge, and working with our team. We will be paying for everything with the exception of a reception that would be responsibility of the RSCVA. But we believe this is the best way, so much that our friends in Southern Nevada and other parts of the state are finding ways to be able to work in this form in the future, so we cannot only continue the governor's conference, but to grow it and be more meaningful for the folks within the community that way. So thank you very much. I look forward to that opportunity.
Fantastic. When are you planning on doing this?
The goal is for December of this year. We're still finalizing it. The RFP has been sent out to properties. They're down to final four that Mike Larghetta's team and our team are looking and reviewing all the properties and what has been offered, but we're excited that all four want to host, are excited to host, and it's a difficult decision we're gonna be making very shortly.
Okay, I love it. So I guess you signed up to sing the Star Spangled Banner, opera Can't Refuse.
Absolutely.
Is that what I'm doing? Anyway, well, good. We look forward to hearing more about that.
The governor's tourism, is that every year?
It is. So
Yeah.
it took might go get it for the record. Sorry, Mr. Cron. So yes, it took a recess for a few years. It came back last year in Las Vegas at the Rio. After I believe it was a 4 year.
4 year.
4 years, yes. So it will go back into an annual rotation between North and South.
Okay, all right. Clerk, any more?
No other public comment at this time.
Okay, then I'm gonna bring it back to the board and unfortunately Alexis and I have to run to funeral for Chairman Melendez, so we're gonna have to leave early. Are you going, Shirley?
Because I knew we had the meeting here, so, no,
Oh,
I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay here. I mean, I would like to,
okay.
but.
With that being said, we are going to move some things around the agenda. I think you have jotted down what order you think would probably work best with the limited time we have.
Yes, Madam Chair, I was thinking that after consent, if we could move up the appointments, just to make sure that we get those done, and then. I want to look to Mike, would it be better to have department updates before the strategic plan?
I think, Mike already got it for the record. I think if we could prioritize the action items.
Okay,
And one of the things we talked to on strategy about was because the board has been so involved in the process of the strategic plan and it's been in the packets, and we also presented a portion of it yesterday at the stakeholder meetings. If the board was comfortable just making a motion to approve, and if they wanted to come back and present the entire plan again, we could.
okay, great. So are you thinking then consent and then appointments of C, E, and then go to F, and then go back to President Wool to ready whenever we, yes, okay. Then that is my proposal, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right, you got that?
I got that.
You're gonna have to keep me in mind because because I honestly, I can't see. These glasses don't have enough magnifiers for me. So you're just gonna have to direct me. Okay, perfect. Okay, with that being said, Madam Clerk, let's go into where's this?
Consent.
Yeah, let's go into consent. Any items, does anyone want to pull any items off consent? No? Okay, then can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
All right, I have a motion, I have a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. All right, approval of the agenda of June 26th. May I get a motion? Do we possible action? Oh, we are, that's probably the consent, sorry. All right, where are we skipping to? E1. E1. Okay, let's go into E1. So this is board appointments from the Reno Tahoe Airport Authority Board of Directors. We have two names up. We have Miss Courtney Young and Mr. Sean Carey. Would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I would like to move for Ms. Young.
All right, I have a motion for Ms. Young. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. All right, item E2, this is to reappoint from the NRA. And we have Mr. John East and Mr. Matt Denning. So I would like to motion for Mr. John East, if you'll have us.
And I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. All right, heading over to board appointment for the Reno Sparks Chamber of Commerce. We have two names up, Mr. Eddie Albaser and Mr. Mike Hicks. I would like to appoint or make a motion for Mr. Eddie Albuser. May I get a motion?
Second?
Sorry,
Yes.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. All right, now heading back
To add.
to F. Okay. Let's go. Item F.
Madam Chair.
It's all
Mike Larry-
you.
Mike Larry,
It's all you, baby.
I-
Go for it.
We can have on strategy go through the presentation, or if the board is comfortable making a motion approving. I know there were some questions. I know Mr. Reese possibly had some questions as it relates to the plan, so I lean to the board on whether you want to see the presentation or whether you'd like to make a motion after questions and discussion.
In the interest of time, I'm fine just to send my questions to staff and you guys can, figure out where we go from there. So that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Are we gonna ask them to come back into town?
Yeah,
Yes, they would come back and present most likely at the July meeting.
Okay, I
That would
just
be
want to
great.
make sure that was not a problem. I know we're in for time.
Yeah, and we
In fact, they
talked to Cameron and Erica and they were. That's
So to clarify, we'll approve it as it is, but we'll have the presentation.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
okay. Do we need to make a motion to bring it back or no?
No.
No, okay. All right,
Okay.
moving along. Item F2.
Do we need a motion? to approve the plan?
Yeah, you could approve.
I'll
Oh,
make
you
a
want to
mo-
prove it?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve.
okay,
As is,
Yeah,
with the
second.
understanding we'll have the presentation.
Yeah.
perfect. So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, motion carries.
Great. We'll ask them to come back in July. and present.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So
That'd be
we
great.
can still give input and questions with the presentation.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. All right, moving right along. Item F2,
At two.
that
Yep.
would be
Christina.
Christina.
I can
Talk
talk
about-
about here. So this item is to, where the staff is recommending to sign a 2-year contract with KPS3. They are currently our web agency that, holds a number, of responsibilities from search engine optimization to maintenance to personalized experiences, A/B testing. And so, they have kindly kept their rates flat year over year. So, we're hoping to actually sign a 2-year extension with them to lock in those great prices. And I just wanted to clarify that this amount, the 311, is per year for the next 2 years, not in total for the next 24 months. So I just want to make that clear, but they've done a fantastic, outstanding job managing our website. Our numbers are through the roof, and we really hope to continue working with them and lock in those great prices for the next 2 years.
Okay, great. Any questions?
Yes, please.
Go right ahead.
I just want, I didn't see an ROI on there. Is there any possibility of doing ROI year-over-year comparisons?
We actually
rev-
were planning
revenue.
on having KPS3 come and present to the board. Currently penciled in for July to have them share some of their findings. If the agenda gets too full, we might push them out, but right now they are currently planning to come to the next board meeting to discuss all of the great work that they've accomplished and the numbers that they've hit.
Okay. Thank you.
All right,
I'll make a motion to approve KPS3 contract for $311,000 for the next 2 years.
okay, thank you, Greg. I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Okay, item F3, and this is gonna go to you, Mike.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mike Larry, for the record. To echo Mr. Villanueva's comments, the RSCVA has volunteered to partner with Travel Nevada to participate in the solicitation of hotel bids and provide payment as a partner that will be fully reimbursed back to the RSCVA with the exception of the opening reception, which we agreed to sponsor as part of our sponsorship package. So this is a process that eliminates the Travel Nevada having to hire a meeting planner at an expense of 10 to 15% of the total budget. It also allows us to provide our expertise and recommendations as to make the conference more enjoyable, more festive, more social, and also our expertise on the hotel bids. So this is just a process of alleviating the state having to go through the processes of trying to get payment through procurement and us being able to expedite that payment process.
Hey, any questions? No? Okay, may I get a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, where are we at?
Back to the top.
Back up. Item F, or wait,
Presentation.
D1, legislative summary. Wow, I don't even recognize you. They did a number on you over there.
Pull out my hair.
Looks
good.
I love it.
Looks
It looks great,
It was quite the talk of the session with.
right?
I'm Black and white. I'm proudly representing you in the legislative session, but if you ever want a social experiment on how much going to Carson City is like going to junior high, change your style just a little bit and see what happens. Let me just kind of, and I know you guys are pressed for time, so I don't want to take too much, but it was I think I said this earlier this morning, every session is a unique and beautiful snowflake, and this one was no different. It was fascinating in just how I think the process is continuing to fog down in Carson City, and we're getting more sort of partisan, more sort of. It just seems like things are just breaking down and it's not working quite as well as it should. So just by the numbers, we had about 1,200 bills in the legislative session. By May 6th, which is about 100 in a day, 104-ish, 6 bills had gone to the governor's office. 6 bills in 104 days. At the end of the session, we ended up with about 600 bills passed, which tells you in the last 14 days, we did 600 bills. Of those, 519 were signed by the governor. The governor ended up vetoing 87. So if that doesn't give you sort of a sense that, you know, we are not having erudite discussions about the weighty issues of solving Nevada's problems, I don't know what does. But overall, I think the RSCVA had a very successful session. AB 114, which is the board governance bill, that passed out of both houses. That is now signed by the governor. That will become the law, I want to say October 1st of 2025. So next few months. AB 333, which basically, I guess I'll call it the new landlord for the Livestock Event Center. So the Department of Ag is taking over the Livestock Event Center property. And as I understand it, everything is supposed to sort of say status quo ante, and you basically just get a new landlord and everything else sort of works the same. That bill is through, that was signed as well. And then one of the bills that came up late in session that you asked to engage on was AB 81, which was a move to this permanent standard time in Nevada. Ultimately, that bill ended up, it got one hearing and didn't really move through the process. I do expect that issue will come up again in the 27 session, but overall, that really didn't garner a lot of momentum at this point. We were watching a couple of Lake Tahoe bills, the Business Improvement District, which is SB 420, I want to say, ultimately did not move through the process. It got through the Senate side, but then ended up jamming up in the Assembly, which, again, both houses were sort of ill-prepared to process, I think, might be the way I diplomatically say that. So, but I'm here to answer any questions. I'm happy to, if there's other bills you're interested in, and I find that folks sometimes have interest in things that aren't directly impacting them. Happy to answer any questions, and again, proud to represent you again.
Okay, thank you so much, Jesse. I appreciate it. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And this is not for you, Jesse, just a comment from the board. AB 420, as you all know, that was supposed to help us with microtransit in Tahoe. And Travel North Tahoe put a ton of effort into that. So I just want to say thank you so much, Greg, for you and your team and all the work you put into that. And I'm just so disappointed that it didn't go through, because it would have given us an opportunity to raise our own funds for transportation, which is just to say I will be back to this board to ask again, and I'm so sorry, but I gotta fight for it's for the tourists, as you all know. There's many that use that resource, and so just you'll see that on a future agenda if the chairwoman would allow it. And we're trying to fund ourselves, we really are, but we just don't have the taxing authority, and the state won't give it to us. And it's I'm very frustrated, honestly. So anyway,
I thought it had a lot of traction. What happened?
Could you speak to it?
Yeah, it was something that got held up in the finance committee.
Which it shouldn't have. It didn't cost the state any money.
There's no
There's no tax,
Because it would have been our treasurer who
Yeah.
would have collected it at the county. And so I don't understand.
So yeah, it was just the last minute thing, got held up too long and then there wasn't enough time to push it through.
If you have any advice for us, maybe back to you on
Yeah, I
that.
think, I think you hit on exactly one of the issues that became a theme of the session, which was that to the extent that there may have been a quote unquote fiscal impact or a fiscal, any sort of change of government status with regard to how it's funding or a cost or anything like that. You saw the money committees, both the Assembly Ways and Means Committee and the Senate Finance Committee, which is where those monetary issues get discussed. Those were pulling in bills almost at a kind of pace that is all unknown to me before. I mean, you've got two other lobbyists that sit in this building. I've never seen the amount of pulling things into finance and ways and means to sort of hold them. And then again, as you continue to hold those things, you sit, and then we ended up by that last couple of weeks, you end up bumping into just, there's no time. There's no time to even write the bill. There's no time to write the amendment. So it just sort of bogged down in a way that I think the time management in Carson City really, we are struggling down there in that, in the time management component.
Sure. So Commissioner Hill, I think there's an opportunity, and I'm gonna prognosticate for a second, but I in the West, there's a tremendous fear that the ACA cuts that are coming federally and the Medicaid cuts that are coming will inevitably force states into a really difficult position. And so in my experience, and I looked at Jesse, and I don't know if it's appropriate for John, but John as well, it appears that we in Nevada are preparing for an inevitable special session that more than likely will come. I think looking backwards, there was a crime bill that never made it through because we don't have the time to talk about the theatrics at the end of session, but something happened that was very interesting. And should you be interested in political theater, that might be called back. I'm confident something in the healthcare area and some sort of governance area. So maybe we can be proactive as a board, knowing that inevitably a call for a special might come, and knowing how important sort of self-governance is essential to the lake. Perhaps, Jesse, we could format a letter from our RSCVA to the Govs team and ask and request in consideration for a special, something around self-governance or local government impact. And then maybe we could put that in there, just an idea.
I mean, yes.
I think it's a great idea.
Yes, if the board would support that, I would.
I would say too, we, as a board, if we're gonna do that, we also have to step it up and go beyond the letter. If we get the opportunity to be there and heard, that I would ask every board member that we all go.
Thank you.
And I would, the work that we do, I'd love to work with Jesse and obviously bringing John and his team. I think you've got a collection of really, well-intended and successful folks down there that we can start shopping that to Gov's team right now. So I don't know the appropriate, I guess I look to legal, the appropriate way to format something that I don't think we could take action on it.
Yeah, I think this would probably be something that best be handled to formally agendize and give guidance. But I think that's a great discussion. So
Okay, so next,
I'll work with Ben to
Yeah,
make sure that
that'd be
gets on the
great.
agenda.
okay,
Yeah, there will be a special session, we're almost assured,
Okay.
just because of the federal issues with regard to say Medicaid cuts, and that's almost 60% of
Right.
how we fund that. So
Right. Yeah.
if there are big changes there, you're gonna see a special session to reform that, how the budget works in Nevada.
Stephen.
Just to clarify too, don't we have a government affair exec committee in July? Or we were looking at dates,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the data is.
so I think that could be an
I'd love
opportunity to,
To get-
because the one thing I'd say, and I'm not opposed to the discussion where it's going, but honestly, I'm not really familiar with the full 420. I know
Okay.
microtransit
Yeah.
is one part,
Mhm.
but before we all give it the stamp, I don't know. I think we just want to fully understand all the, because there were a lot of other.
Yeah, we can do
additional
a deep
parts.
dive on it. the business improvement district, is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this meeting here, we shouldn't discuss that.
Right. We'll put
You
it
can
on the
discuss,
next
you
one.
just couldn't happen to take action. I mean, if you guys wanted to come up with some frameworks and ideas, but we wouldn't direct staff to,
Do anything,
right?
but we'll put it on the next agenda so that we can take
Right.
action.
And can it be on the agenda
Yes,
so that we can maybe
Yeah.
have language for?
That would
Well,
be great if you guys could do that before the next meeting.
Yeah, because we don't be. Before the July meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just trying to get.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Jesse,
Thank you.
other than who is his fabulous hairdresser? All right,
Even
I think that's it. Would you like to make a motion to accept?
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, may I get a motion to accept Jesse's report?
So moved.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Motion carries unanimously. Good job, Jesse. Okay. We are now at item D2, and this is the presentation for Miles Partnership. And that's all you, Christina.
Yeah, I'll pick it up. Thanks, everyone. As you all know, at last month's board meeting, the board supported moving forward with Miles Partnership. I am pleased to share that we officially signed the contract, I believe yesterday morning. So we are in business, and we invited the Miles leadership team to come back and do a brief presentation to the board today, just so you all can get to know the team. So I'm happy to share that we have Debbie Johnson, the Senior Vice President of Client Services here, along with Danelle Ramos, the Vice President of Paid Media, to do a brief presentation on who they are, some of their strategic efforts that they've accomplished, and a tease as to what they see for the future for Reno Tahoe.
Technology issues, sorry.
All good.
Oh, look at that. He's still right here. Is that easy? Just put it in slideshow.
Toothpaste. Ready to go.
This?
Exit up. Yeah.
Oh.
Come up there.
There's a button. I can't remember what one was.
Got that.
There we go.
There we go. Don't touch anything. Well, thank you all so much for the opportunity to be here today. We are excited. I think we are as excited as Reno Tahoe team is to get started on this account. I was able to go visit Tahoe yesterday. I told Christina I took a drive. It was amazing. So we're super excited about this. Let's see here. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to get to the next slide. Flip it over here.
That one.
Okay, we'll try this one. Thank you. Oh, look, there we go. So I just want to share with you, this is going to be kind of your lead team to work with the Reno Tahoe team, but by no means everyone. My name's Debbie Johnson. I'm in charge of our client services department. I am ultimately responsible for you guys in your account, so I'll be working closely with Ben Walton, who is your day-to-day account director. He'll lead the day-to-day team. Danelle is here to talk about all the media that you'll be doing. So we're excited about that. I have 30 years of travel and tourism experience, including most recently 8 years as director of the Arizona Office of Tourism. So I've sat in the DMO seats, understand all the issues that you guys are facing. So I wanted to talk just a little bit about what we do and who we are at Miles, and then have Danelle talk a little bit about the vision that we see for you all. So this is just a quick slide about who we are. We have very small account teams that only have a limited number of accounts, so we can provide that best personal service, but you can see all the different subject matter experts that we have on our team to work on all of your various issues. We also have a number of companies that work within Miles that talk about different issues that you guys will be dealing with, including Adgenuity, which is our kind of media buying agency, our content studio with Odyssey. Just real quick on our mission, we just believe so much in travel. All we do is travel, and we believe that we want to create that passion and that positive impact with the travelers who visit your destination and how they leave here feeling about Reno Tahoe. So really important in what we do. These are our values. I'm not going to go through each of them. We use these in how we deal not only with our clients and with the industry, but within our fellow team members as well. And collaboration to me is the most important of these. Everything we do is about collaborating with the client, with the stakeholders and with the other partner agencies that they work with. It's really important that we have a great relationship with your PR team, with your web team. Those are just things that we do on an automatic basis to make sure that we're providing you all what you need. This is just who we are as an agency. I talked about the 100% focus on travel. The other one that's going to be really important for you all is we buy $200 million in media annually, and Danelle will address that just a teensy bit, but it's such an important thing because it benefits clients large and small and everything in between because of the values that we have going forward on that media. Research is so important in what we do. We know it's important to you, it's important to us, it's important to the industry. We don't validate our own research. We spend about $500,000 annually with third-party companies, kind of making sure that we're telling the story for our clients, but also for the industry as a whole. We believe very much that if we as a company are doing the right thing, the industry is going to help us. We're going to help the industry in getting that information out, what we share about the industry, what we share about our clients. So that's why kind of that research is so important. Innovation is the next one that's so important. So many things are driven by innovation. We've done a lot over the years. Most recently, we're focused, of course, on AI and how it is going to change the travel and tourism industry. We believe it's not just going to be about, you know, the positive changes, but what are those negative concerns that we have out there? So we want to be very clear on how it can help, how we need to be transparent, and how we're using AI as an industry. What are the most effective ways to do it, and to do it clearly and transparently so our visitors know when they're looking at something that's AI generated and when it's us. We've talked a little bit about meetings and conventions, how important they are for you as a destination. We believe you guys have so much going on in this space. I can tell you it's happening. I checked into my hotel the other night and I was like, wow, they've clearly got some stuff going on, not just in meetings and conventions, but sports too. It is a growing industry, the sports industry. I've been involved in it for about 10 years. And I was saying yesterday, the mega events are not, you know, they're important, but those youth sport events, those amateur sports events are every bit as important as any mega event you could ever bring here, because they bring the people, they bring the dollars with them. So I love that you guys are focused on that. And now I'm going to have Danelle come talk a little bit about the vision that we see for Reno Tahoe and where we're going to look down the road.
Thanks, Debbie. So again, this has been put together with just us because we just signed a contract yesterday. But we're looking forward to working with the Reno Tahoe team to really start to flesh out what the long-term vision and media tactics will be. 65% of travelers are saying that experiences have a significant role, like Debbie was just saying, and 1/4 of US travelers visited a destination specifically for a sporting event. So how do we continue to capitalize on that for Reno Tahoe? I'm sure most of you are very familiar with this, but getting lost in the noise, the media landscape is so robust and fragmented. We're talking about the 12 paid media subscriptions. I was like, there's no way. But then when you actually start thinking about it, you do. Netflix, Spotify. So how do we make sure that we're in front of those people and engaging with them in the right place to ensure that we are promoting a trip to Reno Tahoe? So our vision for Reno Tahoe is to build a lasting affinity by immersing leisure travelers, sports participants, event attendees, and planners in the destination's limitless experiences through strategic and personalized brand moments. This approach moves beyond traditional media campaigns by using deeper audience insights, smarter media strategies, and collaborative partnerships to keep the Reno Tahoe brand top of mind. So there's 5 supporting strategies that we feel we can really implement here, which are going to be leaning into the brand as a system, developing content that builds brand affinity, introducing innovative audience targeting, focusing on agile media for maximum effect, and cultivating partnerships to broaden reach and impact. So this is a wheel of how we look at that holistic and integrated brand experience for people that come to Reno Tahoe. There's 4 different areas, which are data and insight sources, strategic media relations, storytelling channels, which you can see Reno Tahoe is a part of that one, and then the partnership strategies and how we kind of have all of these work together so that we're utilizing them to the best of our ability while making sure that we're extremely smart and strategic with the money that we have. And so strategic pillar number 1 is really unifying that Reno Tahoe brand by expanding no limits beyond just adrenaline packed experiences for the ultimate flexibility and fluidity. It's really making sure that we're able to carry that brand through every single strategic pillar and goal that you guys have. The second one is going to be building content so that builds the affinity. So creating content based on passions, based on people that really want to come here, based on people's travel. Everybody in this room books travel differently, consumes content differently. So how are you able to have that personalized touch with travel to make sure that you're actually making an impact? Like I mentioned, there's a lot of fragmentation in the media space. Google started to deprecate cookies and then decided not to deprecate cookies. And so it's really just a fragmented marketplace. So how do you reach people throughout their day with different data points and ensure that you're actually reaching a person who would eventually book a trip to the destination? So that's really what we look at as this unified market lens when we're putting together our plan and picking what data partners that we're going to be implementing onto the plan through the digital media elements. Strategic pillar number 4 is the agile media for maximum effect. So this is a traditional media sales funnel, starting with broad reach, moving down to targeted media. I think a mistake that a lot of DMOs make is that they're so focused on, obviously the main goal is having people come here, but from a media standpoint, a lot of people are like, you should be on more online travel booking agencies like Expedia, when really those people have already made the choice of where they're going for their trip. So we always say internally, like, we're selling a dream. So how do we sell that dream to people who have maybe never considered coming to Reno Tahoe before? And how do we get in front of them before they start to narrow down that consideration list so that Reno Tahoe is at the top of it? So these are some ideas that we had put together with like for our pitch that we did. So again, these were done in a vacuum, but I think leveraging audiences of major upcoming sporting events, obviously in the Bay Area. You guys already work with the Sacramento Kings, but there's going to be a ton going on there. Super Bowl is going to be there. The World Cup is going to be there. The NBA All-Star game is going to be there. So how do we start to leverage some of those and really put Reno Tahoe at the forefront? It's a short drive distance away, but how do we also make sure that we're leveraging it from a fly market perspective so that we're increasing people actually flying in? On my flight yesterday from Denver, it was completely full. So how do we continue to do that? Bringing the brand to life through festival and sports activations. That's what we just kind of talked about. And then accessibility focused brand partnerships. There's so much to do in the Reno Tahoe area, and it's such a large destination. How do you make sure that you are reaching those partnerships that really leverage everything that you guys have to do? So I talked fast since I knew we only had 10 minutes, but if you have any questions.
Any questions?
So, yeah, I saw this, I didn't see anything about snow there. And we got great skiing up there. And, 2 years ago, we had the Wolves up, up there twice, 2 years in a row. And it's a shame to lose that. Is it one thing?
I think seasonality will be extremely important, and I think that it'll be done in 2 ways. It'll be done through the creative assets that Reno Tahoe is going to have, and then also from a media standpoint. So just making sure that, we have started to remove targeting demographics such as like specific ages or households, and we focus more on travel intenders, so people who actually show those signs with an intent to travel. So that can be focused from a summer perspective or from a winter perspective, just depending on the time of year and seasonality that we're focused
When you
on.
mentioned Super Bowl, I was thinking, when you said Super Bowl, I was thinking World Cup. So it's kind of big stuff, and this area's had good snowfall for the last few years. We've experienced a lot of international travel. Just FYI.
Yeah. I think international travel will be something to keep an eye on as we move through the next year.
Oh, yeah.
Might not be real popular. Yeah,
But I
get
think
that.
that just from a domestic
We're
standpoint,
gonna-
making
we're
sure that
We're
we're
gonna
highlighting
we're
all
gonna
of it.
get Canada back though.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Christina, yeah, I do. Christina, have you guys, I know that just signed a contract yesterday, but have you started to work through some timelines for some campaign updates and, progress that we'll bring back to the board again and talk about what those look like?
Absolutely, we are working on it. I will say the Miles team, even prior to signing a contract, they were great and have already jumped right in, met with the team, met with some of our partners in all that good faith. And so we are going to be developing this plan. Again, we haven't talked too much yet, but the No Limits platform, based on their research as well, seems to be holding strongly. So I think that's where we'll probably begin, is continuing that campaign. But obviously do research and evaluate, and we will come back to the board probably in a few months with some more dialed in strategic vision and like some check-ins. They will be in market pretty frequently throughout
I
this next
actually have
year.
an update on that. I just talked to Ben, who's our accounting director, last night. And we're looking to come in market with kind of a team, almost do like, I'm gonna call it like a mini fam trip where we bring a few of our team members in, come experience the destination, get to meet with the team members from Reno Tahoe, and we're looking at the end of July for that. Christina had given us a couple dates. So we really tried to narrow that down so we could get the most people here in market to experience it. And he confirmed last night that that's really gonna be that end of July timeframe. So people are excited to already come into market and kind of see what you have. We've heard so much about it, but to really come experience it gives us a better chance to tell that story. I think it's one thing to tell the story when you haven't been there, but when you get to experience the destination, anytime, whether it's travel writers or what we do marketers, when you get to experience it yourself, you can tell that story so much better. So the team's excited to be here.
So where is home base for all of you?
Okay, so I just moved originally, I was from Arizona. I just moved to Colorado about 6 months ago. We have 2 home offices. Most of us work remote, but we have 2 home offices, one in Florida, one in Denver. Danelle and I both work out of Colorado office, but we have people all around the country. And one of the things that we talked to the team about during our pitch is we have 125 team members that live in the western half of the United States. So for us, travel in and out of Reno is really easy. So we will be here frequently whenever you need us. And that was one of the things that we confirmed, that we have that team with so many team members who are here in that west of the US area.
And what about Ben? Where does?
Ben is out of
He lives
Denver
in
as well.
Denver too.
He's in Denver also.
Mhm.
Okay.
So we've got an easy call. So Ben and a lot of the media teams based in Denver. So we have a good amount of people here that are able to get in and out pretty quickly.
Thank you.
You know, I'm jumping in the driver's seat, so that's by default, and I apologize with the funeral, we had to have some of our electives leave, but, really appreciate you coming in and we look forward to working with you. I was able to sit in the presentation yesterday and really, I know in just talking to Mike and Christina, I mean, I think just so everybody knows the RFP process, I think were there 15 agencies that
Yep.
originally came in, and it was a pretty strict intense vetting of everything, and it's great seeing you rise to the top, and I think we really look forward to. We've got a great momentum going in the whole Reno Tahoe Sparks area, and we look forward to tapping some new talent and energy and really taking it to the next level. But thank you, Danelle and Laura, for coming in, and we'll be seeing a lot of you. So
We're happy to be here. Thank you so much.
really appreciate it. Thank you. Now I acquaint myself with the agenda. First off, I do want to appoint Glenn Carano as my sergeant of arms. Would make some changes to, oh no. But I think are we on the board and D3 updates and announcements? Mike? if
Thank you,
take it
Treasurer
away.
Squaga. I appreciate it. Myself, Mr. Jimenez and Christina Ernie will be providing updates today. Before I jump into my update, just a couple of housekeeping items, if I may. The chair has recommended and approved that we will be canceling the August board meeting. So you can all remove that from your calendars. We've shared that in some of the pre-boards, but for those that did not participate, I just want to make sure you knew that for your agendas and your calendars. Second of all, even though he refused to sit on the adult table today, I just wanted to recognize Mr. Robert Chisel for his assistance the last month in his role leading our finance department as it relates to the budget and deadlines in the CAFR and obviously workers' compensation insurance. So I just want to recognize Robert. So thank you, Robert. Very much. Appreciate it. Okay, jumping right in, I'm excited to announce our April Spotlight Award winner. This individual started her career at the RSCVA on July 25th, 2022 as an administrative assistant and was promoted to executive assistant on October 24th, 2024. I want to share some quotes from her immediate supervisor. She has been the administrative assistant for the vice president and executive director of venue operation position for the past 3 years. She has been instrumental in organizing all venue and vendor contracts. She is the person who organizes all evaluations and goals for over 150 employees in the venue operations department. Since the recent retirement of two previous vice presidents of venue operations, she has been instrumental in keeping me up to speed on the moving parts of facility operations. This team member is an amazing part of our team and an asset to the RSCVA. Chad Peters, Executive Director of Venue Operations. Thanks, Chad. The April Spotlight Employee of the Month is Executive Assistant of Venue Operations, Tracy Lydiard. So congratulations, Tracy. Excellent job. Okay, some events that we participated in this last month. So as Brian from the ACES alluded to, our CBA took a financial investment position with Party Animals, which took place May 29th through 31st. These are some of the pictures from the event. In addition to our, and I'll go through some of the stats and reiterate some of the stats Brian mentioned, but in addition to our financial contribution, we were given access to the owner suite for all three games, which we used as an opportunity to drive business, to thank partners, to bring some influencers on the marketing side. So the picture in the bottom center is we had an opportunity to host, I believe it was 15, John, is that correct? 15 members of Association Forum out of Chicago. They were in Reno for a fan. We tied it in with the Party Animals event. It was amazing. They enjoyed it. And so as Brian alluded to, we're in the process of negotiating possibly 2 dates for next year, one with the Party Animals and one with a second league that the Party Animals is initiating. They literally have a goal to become a league of their own per se, and actually have standings and to almost mimic like an MLB program. So I'm glad that we got our foot in the door this year, and they were so happy with our destination, and we anticipate bringing them back next year. To jump into some of the numbers, so as Brian alluded to, over 29,000 tickets sold. I know he said 45%. When you add the 42%, in addition to the tickets that were sold to Nevada tickets outside of 50 miles, that gets you to that 45%. But the stat that really just blew me away when we pulled this with the Reno Aces was the dark shaded states are a representation of the states where tickets were sold from by zip code. So 41 states were represented that purchased tickets over the 3 days. And again, 9,855 tickets sold outside of the state of Nevada, an additional 1,352 inside the state, but beyond a 50-mile radius of Reno. So impressive. Yes, sir, Mr. Cronin.
Do you got any demographics, age?
They didn't go to that detail. It was all by zip code, was the best we could get from Party Animals, but you know, we love data, so we're happy to ask that question moving forward. If we can get it.
How much beer they could sell?
I don't know the exact amount, but I do know that the Reno Aces said it was, I believe, not to quote them, but the strongest concession sales they've had in the history of the Reno Aces. I mean, for those that were fortunate to participate and go to one of the 3 games, and I went on Thursday, and I heard Friday and Saturday was even larger. When I went on Thursday, they had 3,000 people 3 hours before the game out in the pavilion on the grass, listening to an average band, just drinking beer for 3 hours. So they sold a lot of beer.
So it's mostly above 21.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. But it was a full family event as well. There are a lot of kids, and you really saw a wide demographic of people from young to old to a little bit of everything. Yes.
So that makes one of your special event goals right there, huh?
It was, yeah, so Valerie was involved through the entire process with the Aces and myself. We literally, you know, sometimes you never know where these deals are gonna come from. And just to give the board a little history, the opportunity surfaced due to the Oakland A's having to find a home. And because of their advertising deal with Comcast, they had to stay within a certain radius of where they played their home games. So that's how they ended up in Sacramento. That opened up the door for us because the Party Animals had a date secured in Sacramento, which they couldn't fulfill. Eric and I met for a coffee one morning. We talked about the opportunity, and he showed me some of the videos and the demographics and the stats. And I'm like, I don't know how we walk away from this. So we were all in. Okay. Any other questions on Party Animals? Yes, sir.
You mentioned that they're trying to establish themselves as a league and a formalized. I know that's a whole different direction, and it's Is that like they look at markets like ours, correct?
So they have, so the new league they're starting would focus on markets with smaller stadiums. I don't know the exact tiers, but let's say.
Smaller than ours?
Yes, so when they bring in a new team, or in new teams, I should say, they will start on a smaller market. That might be stadiums that say go up to 5,000 people, because it won't be as large of a draw. Then they go to the next tier of like the Party Animals, which is, say, it goes from 6 to 12,000. Then the Savannah Bananas will literally sell out a major league stadium when they go in. They draw that type of numbers. But what we had heard is when they're looking at a league is if they have enough teams in each segment, they will track their standings throughout the year. So you literally have competition within the league, a division per se.
Do they play home games? I mean, or
No,
is
they-
it just a road show?
It's a road show. They start, obviously Savannah Bananas is the team with the most name recognition. They literally do a draft at the beginning of the year in Savannah, Georgia. And for the draft, and the draft is they announce where they're going for the entire season, all the teams. I can't remember the exact number, but I think the draft drew like 7,000 or 8,000 people. Just to go and, I mean, I'm sure they do a great job of making an event within an event, but just to announce where the teams are going for the year. Yeah, and the other thing that's really impressive, and if you are active on Instagram, I recommend going in and following the founder of Savannah Bananas. He's incredibly talented, and his marketing skills and what he brings to the table is pretty impressive. The chair actually followed him and recommended I follow him, and I started following him, and he's pretty impressive in his own right. But they also, fun fact about Party Animals in Savannah Bananas, Banana Ball is they try to avoid using any external vendors. A great example is from a ticketing platform. They took the risk of going away from, say, a large ticketing provider like Ticketmaster and took everything in-house because they didn't want their clients, their attendees to pay those fees. And so they brought it in-house and they struggled for a year or two, but now they're at a point where they've got it down and they are not, I mean, they want their fans to have an experience at a value price. And tickets are very affordable. That's another reason why they have such a big draw.
Yeah, I guess just anything we can do to help you and help the cities and help Ace Stadium and whoever, not just do it on a singular, like as many times as we could bring them here, I think that would be the wisest thing we could do. Help this.
Completely agree.
So I got one more question.
Yes, sir.
Cause I just went online and looked at it, but two things. I thought it was really cool where if you hit a foul ball and a fan catches it,
It's an out.
It was so right. That's pretty cool. You got your umpires are dancing. What do the umpires look like? Are they umpires dancing? That might not be a pretty.
They were in shape.
Oh, they
They were in shape. That's sure. They
were.
were doing backflips.
One with the ninja.
Yeah.
What is the golden rule?
Golden rule.
There's a golden rule.
It's a batter. It's so every team gets.
Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, so each team has the opportunity to have one player use a golden bat, I think it was, right? And you helmet, you can bring them up at any time, right, during the inning.
Yeah, any batter at any time, and an opportunity to win the game or whatever.
And they are designated as the home run hitter.
Okay, so that's the golden rule.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. And they try to finish in 2 hours.
Man, there's a running clock.
Yeah.
Running clock. That's the other thing that's great is, Major League Baseball, even now that for those that follow MLB, pitcher has to throw the ball within a certain time frame, which has expedited the game, but these guys have got it down. Like they were done in 1 hour and 59 minutes.
Good.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, we need to rebook them. Message.
Yes.
Pleasure delivered. So if the board remembers, we started a process and we had our initial event with the Friday kickoff of the Reno Rodeo. We at the RSCVA have committed to providing music at the airport for 17 different dates throughout the fiscal year. Those dates are a combination of major events and major group arrivals. and we will do our best to theme the music to tie to the event. We've reached out to these large conventions, sought their approval, which we have been granted, and then we reached out through Tasha Holloway in our special events department of getting approval through all the special events. So our next one is the American Century, followed by the Hoggus Nights, and it goes out throughout the entire year. The first one was a hit. It's hard. I was talking to Darren Griffin, the president and CEO of the airport yesterday, and he said it's extremely challenging to get people to stop when they are either going in or going out, because either want to go home or they want to get to their gate. And so he said people were stopping, listening to music, enjoying it, and then it's all about sense of arrival and sense of departure. So it was first one for one, 16 to go.
And we booked that, Mike? Are we paying it?
Yeah, Joe Seidman booked that. Yeah, the average cost per band ranges between $1,500 and $2,000. Yeah,
It's great.
okay. For those of you who attended, thank you yesterday, Mr. Squaga, Mr. Long, Mr. Carano. We held our quarterly stakeholder meeting at the theater, the National Bowling Stadium. I opened the event by saying this is our version of the Las Vegas Sphere, which got a good laugh. And then we told them our plans as it relates to the theater moving forward. Chad and his team and John Morris, who's an IT wizard, have made this theater functional. The equipment in there was iWorks, which was over 30 years old, and now we have customized it. And we will be starting packaging by mid-July, where we will package the theater with the Stadium Club and Kingpin and variations of that. You can book them independently, you can book two, or you can book on all three. We'll be going after local businesses, corporate retreats, parties, holiday parties, bar mitzvahs, whatever it may be. And we think it's going to be a real hit. There's 177 seats in this venue, but we had a nice turnout yesterday. We definitely encourage more participation moving forward. We had 3 presentations with Good Giant, who's our local PR, on strategy, did their 3-year strategic plan, and then Miles Partnership to kick off our agency of record announcement and kind of their vision that they showed today. So thanks again for participating.
How many seats is that?
177. Okay. Through our partnership with the University of Nevada, we received a table to the governor's dinner, which will be held on July 15th. We'll be sending, have we sent that out already, Mayor? We have already, as Mayor is always a step ahead of me, has already sent that to the board for participation. Based on responses, we'll determine whether we need to purchase a second table. This year, as they do every year, they feature either a sports celebrity or a sports name of recognition. I'm sure everyone in this room is very familiar with Coach Alt, who is a Hall of Famer, whose name is on the field. He will be the featured speaker at this year's governor dinner. So I heard yesterday they've already sold over 550 tickets and it caps about 750. So my guess is they will have a sellout.
What's the date on that?
July 15th.
Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
Wow, they moved it to Tuesday.
Yeah.
So it used to be on Thursday.
Yep.
Well, I know Coach always gives anybody in this room, so he's an outstanding speaker.
He is. Also the inventor of the pistol offense, if you okay. Again, reiterating the packages, I know I got ahead of myself a little bit there, but we're really excited about the opportunities that the Stadium Club, which for those of you that have not been in the Stadium Club, that is the room on the 3rd floor that has the crown molding, the big buffalo over the bar, the historic bar, looks like an old Western saloon. We talked about converting that into a speakeasy, but the concept we're going to go with is we have the ability to set up food on the outside of the bar, and on the inside will be an area where you will have cocktails and high-end. So we think it's going to be a big hit. And Kristen Spracklin, who sells sponsorship and advertising in our venues, will be leading the charge in creating the packages with Renee McGinnis and her team. And again, the goal is working with marketing to get the collateral out and messaging by July 15th. Okay. Employee appreciation party. I believe we've sent this out as well. Of course, Mira has. This will be on Thursday, July 24th. We could not think of a better venue to be able to celebrate our employees and their families is using the bowling stadium, National Bowling Stadium, letting them to bowl. We'll be featuring 2 movies, one very family friendly, which will be Shrek, followed by Top Gun. We would love board participation, so we hope you can make it, bring your families. network with our employees, and Chad said that only staff will pick up the popcorn after the theaters. And that is right. So it'll be fun. It'll be a great event. All right, jumping into the numbers, as I committed to in our pre-boards, for those of you who participated in pre-boards, we are going to every month provide a snapshot, assuming we have data that has been provided through Mr. Douglas and room tax, of how we are performing May, the month that is just consumed, versus budget versus prior year. And then we'll also provide an update on how we're performing year to date versus budget and versus prior year. We think this information is very important. It is readily available on our website, but I think sometimes actually going through it in a board meeting format has more relevance and seems to stick a little bit more and gets in front of you. So this is the first slide, ADR versus budget for the month of May. You can see that we outperformed the budgeted number of 141.31, coming in at $2.39 over the budget at 143.70. When you look at room tax versus last year for the month of May, again, ADR occupancy drives revenue. The increase of actual versus prior year, 1.8 million, just over 1.8 million. So again, a very good May for Washoe County. When you look at room tax versus budget, again, we budgeted just over 36 million for the month of May. We came in at 37,788 for an increase of just under 1.1 million for the month of May. When you jump into year to date, how we're performing versus budget and also versus prior year. So when you look at ADR, last year, we were at 147.36 through May. Currently through May, this fiscal, we're at 145.28. And so we're down $2.08. Obviously, again, ADR, occupied rooms, is going to lead to overall revenue. So you're going to see a decrease on that as well. So in terms of total room tax versus prior year, actuals at 415,374,000. Last year, we were at 419,130 for a delta of a decrease of just under 3.8 million year to date. When you look at budget, you're going to see the numbers flip-flop a little bit. So when you look at room tax, the budget was 402,738. We're currently through May at 415,374, with a delta increase over 12,636,000 to budget. Missed one. I think I got them all. I think we're missing one slide. ADR is also up to budget, and it wasn't in there, but as you can see, what we are seeing is that we are trailing behind prior year actual. Fiscal year 24-25 was an exceptional year. We were a little bit more conservative in the budget. That's why you're seeing a significant delta of over 12 million increase through the first 11 months of the fiscal year. Any questions before I hand it over to Mr. Jimenez? Okay.
Awesome.
And if there is, just one more comment, sorry, if there's any other data you'd like to see in the monthly update, just let me know and we'll include that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. For the record, Art Jimenez. I'd like to start off by introducing Jennifer Diaz. Jennifer is not with us this morning because she is out experiencing the city of Raton's on yet another FAM for our destination. But Jennifer joined us in early April and is a tourism sales manager. And she's very well versed in the tourism field. I've spent 7 years on the hotel side, 8 years at Travel Nevada, managing sales and marketing programs in both the US and domestic markets. She spent the last year and a half with Trip Scout, honing her skills in social media influencer planning and programming. And in her role, she'll help us all things tourism sales. She's going to focus on partnership marketing and strengthening our relationship with Volaris Airlines. So we're very happy to have and very lucky to have Jennifer on our team.
So she is an influencer, or she
No,
goes
she
out.
tourism sales manager.
Okay, but she's not an influencer. She goes out and gets influencers.
Works with digital.
She worked at a company managing social media influencers. Next, Jackpot Jamboree, or we also know it as a mega fam that ran from April 27th to May 2nd. So first for Reno, Nevada, Reno, and Las Vegas. And this was created by the RSCVA staff, and it was produced by 7 DMOs. Where 16 clients were treated to great activities in Las Vegas, Laughlin, Mesquite, Carson City, Carson Valley, Virginia City, South and North Lake Tahoe, and of course, Sparks and Reno.
There were 7 days of activities that were funded by grants to the Reno Tahoe territory, the Las Vegas territory. Thank you, Raphael, versus Travel Nevada. And not only included all the FAM elements, but also included airfare for all of our customers. And it was quite an undertaking, about a year and a half in the making, and we hope to make it an annual event. And then as part of our Reno Tahoe FAM Experience series, we've had 13 FAMs in fiscal year 25. And in May, we hosted travel advisors from across the nation, one-of-a-kind experiences. But this was also produced by one of our travel trade marketing partners, Mailpound, and we have another FAM that's going on right now. And we all believe that seeing is believing for the destination. And that's all I have. Mike.
All right, I am up next and I am hoping okay, thank you. All right, the men behind the curtain can load my PowerPoint for me. So as you guys all know, this destination is rooted in ambition. We pride ourselves in no limits, and I really think that starts with the staff here at this organization. So I'm proud to say that we've kind of taken that to the next level, and the staff has come up with an idea that we have called the Reno Tahoe Creator Camp. And this kind of came to fruition through ongoing brainstorming with some of our major creators that we've brought to the region over the past couple of years, and came to life really due to the thanks of Mike and his support and the leadership team here. And we're really excited to share kind of what we had developed with you guys today. And not to mention the dedication of the staff. So we had 8 major travel influencers and 40 participants over 2.5 days who were guided on 5 distinct tracks, each designed to showcase the diverse offerings of the Reno Tahoe destination and how much you can really do in just one weekend. That was the premise of it. So while we called it Creator Camp, the intention was not to create a camp for creators. It was really to create a camp that was led by creators. And we wanted to attract anyone here who really just wanted to stretch their creativity, whether they wanted to become a creator or whether they just wanted to level up their family photos for grandma or their own at-home photo albums. And we really wanted to root this in an inspirational camp that, think about it as grown-ups summer camp. We want it to be playful, we want it to be aspirational, and we really wanted it to be guided by the most influential travel influencers in the world. So we invited them all here earlier this month, and they went out on this 2.5-day event. So for this inaugural event, as I mentioned, we really wanted to kick it off with a bang. So we invited what I like to call the Marvel cast of creators. We had over 7 creator brands that have a combined 8.5 million Instagram followers, and that's just on Instagram, not their YouTubes, not their Meta channels, not their TikToks, just Instagram. So these guys, I don't think have ever gotten together for any brand in the world, not for Expedia, not for Meta. And we are so grateful they said yes to Reno Tahoe and came to this destination and really gave us a chance.
How did you get them? Like it?
Relationship building over the years. Thankfully, all of these guys,
love her, literally.
they've all been to Reno Tahoe before, many of them for the past decade as they've grown their brands and we've grown our brand. We've stayed in close contact with them, and I'm just so grateful that when we asked, they said yes, and they trusted us to create this event, and that they gave us a chance with this idea. And I will say a lot of this event came through brainstorming with them. A lot of them have actually never even done meetups with their fans. That's how exclusive they are. Like, I don't want to do that, but I'm like, guys, come on, let's do it. They're asking for it.
I know 3, like, I don't know how many of you guys know up here. I'm interested if board members, do you know any of them?
They're
I mean,
the
I know
biggest there
3.
is, you guys.
I know 3 and they're
Huge.
huge.
I'll tell you, with my communications with them leading up to this, they were in Africa, South America, Australia, Europe, British Columbia. I was communicating, I think, in 7 different time zones because I was up late at night, early morning, because I just need to get a hold of them. It's rare they're in the same hemisphere, let alone the same country, let alone Reno Tahoe. So This was really incredible to get them all here. And I will say, even the fans knew that, so the attendees who came, I was able to witness, one of them, the bucket list family was in the lobby, and one of the attendees came and just immediately just broke down in tears of joy because someone that they had followed for so long, they were about to go on a vacation with them for 2.5 days, and just tears running down her face. She couldn't even control herself. It was the sweetest thing. So with this event, how did we get these 40 attendees to sign up, right? So we asked the creators to reach out on their channels to invite these attendees to come here. We didn't we didn't go too hard on our channels and our target markets. We wanted to attract new people to this region, people who've never been to Reno Tahoe, and people who, again, wanted to expand that creativity. So we again asked all the influencers, they posted a, hey, come join me in Reno Tahoe. This is just one of the videos that was posted by Carl Shakur. And I'll just play just a clip of it that he posted on his channel.
I'm hosting an all-inclusive creative retreat with the tourism board of Reno Tahoe, and trust me, I think we kind of cooked with the schedule. We're gonna spend the 3 days pouring over every single detail about adventure storytelling. We have access to hot air balloons, ATVs, rock climbing, an indoor cinematic mixology shoot. So many things that is guaranteed to get your creative juices flowing. Now the question is, how much is it gonna run you? I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of pricey. It's around $27.50 per person, but it's the only way we can afford like renting all the spaces and having access to all the cool stuff that I wanna share with you.
Yeah, so I just want to share one of the clips. All the influencers put out videos like this, inviting their attendees to sign up. We did get 40 attendees to sign up. We wanted to maintain a sense of intimacy, exclusivity, and high value. I think that they were willing to commit to these costs because they wanted that one-on-one time with their influencers that they, their hosts that they admired so much. So like I said, to break it down, so Carl reached out to his attendees, and then most participants followed him specifically as one of 5 tracks over those 2.5 days. So we had 5 tracks running simultaneously, each led by creators, just completely expanding across the destination, covering as much as possible. Now, we did have group events that did combine everyone together. So just to run through a quick through, the first one kind of wasn't a group event. We did hold a creator-only event at the National Bowling Stadium the night before. So this was just an intimate venue with all of our creators who came in. They got to hang out with each other. They all know each other through online, but they were so excited. They actually asked us to host this because, like, can we do a fun, like, icebreaker with us? Because we don't get to meet each other. And so they actually asked for this, and they were so stoked on the National Bowling Stadium. We did a tour. They saw the theater. They're like, next time, can we do an event in the theater? Can we go on the main floor? They wanted more time in the bowling stadium, which was fantastic to hear. The next morning we kicked off, we called it a mess hall breakfast. We tried to keep it camp themed at the National Automobile Museum. That's when all the attendees met their creators. Then we had a game night at Bocce at Renaissance. They were our host hotel. The following night we had a group dinner at the Red District on the rooftop of the Atwood. And the last day we had a talent show that I will go into more detail here in a little bit. But so we did have group events where so if you signed up for a track, you did get to meet also other attendees, other creators, and really cross-pollinate in that like creativity bubble. So we did also partner with 20 local partners. Before I do get to those, I also just want to highlight some of our national brands that we partnered with for this event: GoPro, Backcountry, Matador Network, Stellar Snacks, those are the pretzels you get on Southwest that are based here in Carson City. And then some of our influencer brands as well also helped us make this come to life. So we're incredibly thankful for our local partners who really stepped up and made this dream a reality. So here, just a picture at the Atwood rooftop. Roundabout Catering did a fantastic job. The game night at the Renaissance. I'm gonna briefly run through all of these local partners because I think they all deserve a shout out. Like I said, Renaissance was our host hotel. They hosted all of the attendees there and also the final talent show. And we also had a moderated panel that I will go into in a little more, where all the attendees got to share some of their insights. Like I said, the Reno Experience District, Roundabout Catering, National Automobile Museum, for the breakfast. Irie Rafting, they're a partner with Reno River Festival, the Generator out in Sparks. We actually had Burning Man artists who are working on projects for this year's Burning Man. Gave attendees a sneak peek as to what's going out to the playa this year and really get to talk with those artists. Reno Fly Shop based here in Reno, National Bowling Stadium, not only for the creator only event, but then one of the tracks went there and bowled there as a group Sunday afternoon and loved it. Tahoe Surf Company, they got 20 people up wake surfing in one day, which I think in itself is a feat. Midtown Reno, Jamie with Pineapple Pettycats, she took everyone on a Midtown food and drink tour. Battleborn Power Sports took everyone off-roading, base camp. We had a few people challenge themselves on climbing the tallest climbing wall. Lake Tahoe balloons, piping rock horses, took some attendees horseback riding, Clearly Tahoe and the Clearly Explorer. Sparks Water Bar had a really nice lunch there. Junkie for a shopping experience, really highlighting some of our Midtown district. Zephyr Cove held a beach day where we did acro yoga and played some games, and then Tahoe Sailing Charters. So we couldn't have done it without all of those partners who we had all the attendees spread out, as you can kind of tell, throughout those 2.5 days. So attendee snapshot, who came, right? You asked about demographics of Banana Ball. So we had 40 attendees, and let me rewind here real quick. Because we were trying to get everything so in a row, I was sweating, I'll just say, because we only gave attendees a month to plan this. And I was like, holy smokes, are they gonna commit? This is thousands of dollars. Are they gonna pull the trigger and make this happen? Not only did they happen, they came from 4 countries, Canada, Australia, and Brazil. This is within a month turnaround. The woman from Australia had never been to the States before. 13 states, plus Washington, DC, and 28 cities. So people, the creators put out their call and they showed up. Attendees were between 24 and 47, 42% male, 57 female, about 50-50. Also, we had an option of traveling as a solo traveler or with a buddy. And so we had 18 solo travelers and 22 traveled with a partner. Like I mentioned before, attendees ranged from aspiring creators to just people who are travelers, and obviously a spontaneous weekend warrior if you're willing to book a trip within that short of notice. So really impressed by everyone who showed up, and the woman from Australia was so sweet. She came with all sorts of goodies for everyone and just the sense of community that everyone really embraced. The attendees had a combined following of 115,000 Instagram followers. Like I said, creators had 8.5. So the content output, while we hired the creators to produce content, we did not force this at all on the attendees. We just wanted them to come to Reno Tahoe and have a genuine, authentic experience of our destination. We were just seeing what happens. That being said, this is just the preliminary numbers. I will say all of the creators, nearly all of them, are still working on their content. So this was primarily just from that weekend. 240 Instagram stories, 40 reels. Matador Network, one of our major media partners, they showed up for us. They had almost 3 hours of time viewed of the content from the weekend on their online platforms, with over 4 million views and some great clicks and engagements. To your question.
Can we stay here for a second?
Yes.
So how much did we spend for this?
So there were a number of things that went into it, but all in all, I believe we're still finalizing numbers. Our event costs were a little under $100,000.
Under $100,000. So I mean, I just want to emphasize this for a second, because the amount, I mean, first of all, this is they left when, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
And usually, my understanding of content creators, it takes
yeah.
approximately 2 months to bolster strong, like everyone's working on these things. So already we have the fact that we spent such a little amount for, in my opinion, like the most prime advertising, platforms. I mean, I'm blown away by this, Christina, so I don't want you to undersell this yet, because I know the bigger numbers are gonna come later.
They will.
But I think the fact that we're less than a month out and we're looking at this, I mean, this is unbelievable to me. And I don't know, I'm interested as other board members see this or appreciate it for what it is, but I don't think we can pay for this type of advertising for what you put together.
The media value, I mean, just some of the influencers' costs, I mean, we've already gotten millions in value.
Unreal, absolutely.
And this, just so the board knows, this concept has been in the works for over a year.
Yeah, it's been in the works, so.
So I hope camp number 2 is also in the works.
Oh, I'll get there.
All right.
Don't spoil it. So I did want to highlight some of the top performing posts. We did, as Mr. Ablisar alluded to, the Bucket List family obviously has a really great reach. They've posted 2 videos already. Each of them got over 1 million views. I mean, that is the power that they have on their channels. And this is all organic. I mean, they pride themselves on they don't put paid behind any of their stuff. So 2 of them got all over 1 million. And again, these videos highlighted everything across the destination that I shared with you previously. Even including, I was so happy I'm telling you, they love the bowling stadium. That made their carousel reel. And then I also want to give a shout out to Phil at the Automobile Museum. He made custom license plates with for the influencers. And you know, that's just, I feel the touch that you get when you come from when you go to Reno Tahoe is we go above and beyond. Our partners, Phil was driving one of the cars himself, you know, and the influencers noted that. They know it and they really appreciate engaging with our community. So we had this idea after 2 days to have a talent show at the end. So, and again, we didn't know if people were going to participate in this. We excluded the creators from it. We're like, you guys cannot participate. This is only for the attendees. So we asked the attendees, we had, I think 7 or 8 categories from like, we made it fun, like best selfie, best recap reel, a number of things that they could enter. So they had, after the 2 days, our last event ended at like 9 p.m. and this was brunch literally the next morning. So I was expecting, honestly, just like some like a quick selfie. I just wanted to get people to have fun creating content, right? We did entice them with some talent show prizes. We reached out to GoPro and GoPro generously donated a few of their new cameras. We reached out to Fat Country, who has a Tahoe line of clothing, who outfitted some of the winners. We gave away bags. Yeti, Bucket List family donated some prizes. So we had all that, and I'm going to show you on the next slide some of the 3 final Judges' Choice videos. But I do want to rewind because I skipped over real quick. At the talent show, we did kick it off with, we had the CEO of Matador Network who came into town. He was actually camping and came literally fresh that morning, drove in, borrowed a shower at Renaissance, and then came to talent show. So I was so happy that he was willing to put that commitment towards it, but he also recognizes how big of an opportunity this was for him and his company. So he moderated a panel of all of these influencers up on stage. Again, they don't do this that often. They were pretty shy, and I was like, please just do this, you'll be fine. And they kicked it out of the ballpark. I mean, or hit it out of the ballpark. They shared, I mean, they're top travel pros. They shared some incredible hacks on how they travel, some of their tips, some of their stories. A lot of them have been working on these careers for decades, you know, and so it was really inspiring, I think, for the attendees to be able to hear from these guys in such an intimate setting, be able to ask them questions as well. And then with the talent show, we did have some great judges. We had representatives who flew in from Fat Country, Matador, Protect Our Winters, the nonprofit, and then our chair, Mayor Hillary Stevie, also generously committed to being a judge as well, which they all thought was a hoot to have our mayor be a judge. So I just wanted to share, these were the 3 Judges' Choice Awards of 3 of, again, these were the attendees who created these videos the night before. And I think, like, how late did you guys even stay up? So I just want to share quickly their quick turnaround videos.
This is the average camper at Creator Camp. She flew from the land of beavers to the land of freedom. In the next 48 hours, she would try to catch a fish. She did not catch a fish. She kayaked with her fiancé, also known as couples therapy, but with paddles. She bonded with strangers, ate professionally, and remembered what it felt like to create for fun. This was Reno Creator Camp.
Reno Tahoe.
And that jump was in the early mornings into like tomorrow, so.
I wanna settle down, settle down, settle down. If I can do, then I don't want to. Me don't wanna settle down, settle down, settle down. Maybe I just say this thing way for respect. Too many fish if I pull my neck.
So those were just little snippets that they pulled off within hours. I mean, I was blown away and just so impressed, and you can imagine the quality content that has come out since then. But I think the creators did such a really good job also leading some of this creativity, and I think I'll get to some of the comments, but just the value that they got out of it to elevate their own travel content was incredible. So obviously this does not happen with one person. I really just want to quickly highlight the staff at Reno Tahoe, who are, in my opinion, the best camp counselors in the country. So we all donned our best bucket hat and fanny packs and really leaned in. So from Daniel, who manned the we had like a paint station where you could do like a handprint on a sign, and just like his enthusiasm he brought to some of our marketing team, capturing some of the content, to everyone just being leads on all of these tracks. I am just so proud of them. They were the leads truly on these 5 tracks. So I mean, Mike kicked it off along with myself at the welcome breakfast at the Automobile Museum. Chair Mayor Hillary Sheevy greeted everyone at Sunday's talent show brunch. This really was an all-team effort on the staff's part. And I just wanted to highlight, I'll get to it in a minute, but we had a survey at the end, and we even just staff comments. We just opened it up. If anyone wanted to put any staff comments, it was just so incredible to see all of the attendees provide the feedback on how like Brian coordinated issues and even fixed our bus mirror. I mean, that's our creative director we're talking. I mean, just helpful, nice, needed something with everything. The small touches didn't go unnoticed, helpful, friendly. We had people from our sales team, you guys know Marcus from the Marcus videos, who was leading a bus tour, guiding everyone, providing more color to our destination. It was fantastic to get this type of feedback. So more measurable impact from the weekend, because we all love numbers. So traffic to our website during Creator Camp, as huge as the Banana Ball was, it was 5% higher than the prior weekend after this Creator Camp weekend, with 30,000 visits alone just to a Creator Camp landing page. So this sparked curiosity, we feel, and people like, what is this? And people started putting fingers to their keyboard looking at what this was. And it wasn't just spam traffic. We had 22% increase in engaged traffic year over year for this weekend. We had over 2.2 million views on our Instagram, 15,000 engagements, and we had almost 2,500 new followers on our Instagram page from this event. So again, really impressive. And these are all those preliminary numbers from the weekend as well. Like I alluded to, I'm just gonna quickly go through some of the surveys. Again, first time event. I mean, we did our best to make it as perfect as possible. We wanted to get feedback, and we were really impressed by some of the feedback we got from all of the attendees. 40% completed the survey. 100% had positive attendee satisfaction with the Reno Tahoe staff. Again, I could not say enough about the staff that was there at the event. 93% said that they would come back and do it all over again, which is incredible. And because they invested a significant amount of time, money in this one thing, and they're all ready to come back. We were wondering how they would enjoy a creator-led excursion and trip, and 93 said that they were greatly satisfied with the creator-led trip. 93% attendee satisfaction with the group events, and 87% said it was priced appropriately. I'm sure even you guys sitting around the table like, whoop, that price, but they felt, they did their own research, and I had attendees come up to me and they're like, at first they were like, that's the price, but then once they looked into the value that they got out of it and how much we got discounts from all of our local partners, which we're grateful for, and they really saw that this was a high value trip that they could plan. So they were all pleased with that. 90% big for me. A couple of attendees, again, as we did with the staff, we were like, any feedback on the event, just put whatever you want in here. And I just want to read through them because I'm so touched by what they said. What an incredible adventure in Reno. I met some of the most genuine and authentic people, all while enjoying some epic escapades. If you get the chance, take it. Reno's Creator Camp was the adult outdoor experience I didn't know I needed. It was a wonderful way to be introduced to Reno and Tahoe, as well as a variety of activities I've never done before. The environment was warm and welcoming. I can't wait to explore more. They made it easy to experience some of my much anticipated bucket list wishes. Everything we did was amazing. I loved every part of this trip. Creator Camp is made for anyone looking to explore and connect. I loved having a planned itinerary, an intimate track full of people from unique walks of life, and a chance to get creative. After all, inspiration is everywhere you look in this region. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I walked in excited to have an adventurous weekend and left with a group of like-minded friends I know I'll stay connected with. The Reno Tahoe team created something so much more than just a content trip. It was a community and an unforgettable trip. Huge thanks to the Reno Tahoe Tourism Board for hosting an experience that exceeded every expectation. So I just wanted to put in a couple more slides here on the attendee content. We got 40 static posts, not just stories. The attendees really over delivered our expectations. And I mean, it was not only about the destination, but I would say it was more about the connections and the people they met and the experience and the kindness and the friendliness that they were met here. The reason that we love this destination so much, right? And it was really great to see that people from 14 states and 4 countries also really saw that. And I mean, there were some quotes on some of them were like, I came to create content and I left with just, it's not about the content, it's about the people. And so, just a couple more of the slides here. I mean, point of view, you took a trip alone and left with lifelong friends. I mean, there was a group of, it was all men on this one track, and they sat down on a lunch and they all got teary-eyed just saying how, and they're all like, big manly men, and they just were like, you guys, you're the most incredible people that I've ever met. Thank you for being here and showing up. So it was awesome. Just the last one, I mean, really the diversity of the content that we got. We at Junkie, we did some Burning Man inspired outfits, so that's why you can see some of those funky outfits there. But to really touch on not only what you can do in this weekend, but also the rest of the year in the Reno Tahoe area. One gentleman even wrote a blog about Creator Camp, one of the attendees that we found online. I mean, just learnings from Creator Camp. Again, he was excited to meet the creators, but he was also very pleased that they're also just humans and just genuine, nice people. And he was like, you know what? They really work hard for this life that they live. And he really saw that and just learned how much it took to become a full-time career creator. And it was a really interesting and great blog. Okay, almost through. Sorry, everyone. What our local businesses are saying. So, right, this is also not just for us, but all of our community and the impact that we make with our local businesses. Creators get oftentimes a bad rep for being difficult to work with, but we were really excited that Jeb at Tahoe Surf Company were like, Jess and Garrett were amazing hosts, and they really enjoyed how prompt, organized, courteous, and delightful they all were. We all worked cohesively and interchangeably together. And I really like this part that Reno Tahoe always attracts guests who are extremely polite, outgoing, enthusiastic, motivated, and excited for the experience we provide. A small business couldn't ask for more. So that was really cool. And then this one was one of our favorites. We got this message. It was like 24 hours after Creator Camp. And it was Lake Tahoe Balloons. And he said, I was hauling our small balloon down the mountain when the Bucket List family video hit and my phone started blowing up. He said his phone was just like ringing off the hook. And he's like, the crew is pretty excited about it. It's been fun to see how many people have seen that video in the last 24 hours. At the last update, it sounds like it was over 13,000 likes and 965 views. It's now, I think, at 1.2 million. Off to a great start, and we're excited to see where it goes from here. So that's really what this is about, is really also helping our local businesses. So what's next? So I will say, kind of even unprompted, the Bucket List family is so excited to do it all again that they just went ahead and made this the headline on their post. Who's in for next year? I know, and I was like, all right. No, we did actually plan on making this an annual event, but they really did unprompted, just said who's in for next year already. And Let me just show you what happened in their comments real quick. These were everyone saying, where do I sign up?
Nice.
And this was just from the one bucket list family post that they did at the end. So needless to say, we are going to do it again next year. We already have outreach and signups underway. We have a landing page the team quickly turned around where you can sign up because we wanted to keep this momentum. So really big shout out to the web team. We are expecting more posts and event recaps from this summer from the creators and our partners. Really leverage our key learnings that we got from the attendees, the creators, and then also hope you guys can join us next year. And that's it.
Yeah. So I'm blown away. I mean, it's sort of speechless because that's incredible. I mean, you guys, the whole team, phenomenal. That is really amazing, Christina. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. I have so many questions about it, right? But you guys
Yeah.
really hit it out of the park, and that's fantastic.
It was a lot of planning, a lot of work. A lot of work.
Eddie's enthusiasm is definitely warranted here. I mean, that's just amazing, just an amazing. It's amazing that you had the idea and then was able to pull it off. That just amazing job.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, no, really, and your passion's contagious on it, and I think that trickles down right to this whole effort in the influencers, and they, you know, and I love the fact we have our new agency here as well.
You don't need us.
But I mean, going back to the day, right? Remember when the day was you're doing your TV buy and your billboard, and you hope that everybody sees it, and then that stimulates I mean, it was always kind of like, I mean, this is talking to people that are interested in the area and travel, and I really give you a lot of credit because the amount of work to logistically, that's a lot of moving parts, right?
It was.
Yeah. And
It challenged us at times.
And we swore after, I mean, again, very successful event, but after going to the production side of the US Conference of Mayors, we swore, like, we're not in the production business.
Right.
We're never gonna do this again, and then we did it again.
Yeah.
So, but the team, and again, you know, Christina at the lead, the team was supportive, they were engaged, there were weekly meetings for months. It was a lot,
Yeah.
but the end result speaks for itself, and we're gonna do it again.
No, and I think just to add on, and I part of your presentation too from Miles, but there is something here where there's an authenticity, I think, with the whole Reno Tahoe. And again, I'm preaching to the choir here, so it's a little, you know, but I think this SoCal is such a hard destination in some ways. In some ways, it's such a mashup of so many different experiences that it's hard. In some ways, it's almost hard to sell because you need to have somebody. I think Art touched on this, your comment on the fam, but it can't tell you, right? It's if you can get people here to see it, or to be flying in and looking at the Sierras, you know, meeting the high desert, right? And these experiences, we had a fam a few years ago where, speaking of rodeo, she was from Chicago. I think she may have been with a Procter and Gamble, or it was a large. Took her to the rodeo for the first time. She'd never been. She'd never put on a cowboy hat and she walked out of there just mind blown of seeing what these you want about extreme sports. I mean, that's about as extreme as it gets. But no, I just really applaud you for. That's a massive lift, but and I think, you know, I'm going to tie it into the banana bowl as well. But I think finding those opportunities, the risk, you know, the investment was nice, but the risk side too was very, marginal, right? And to see downtown like on that banana ball afternoon and you know, as far as demographic, I really thought it was just such a mix. It was families from kids to probably 70s and 80s, you know, coming out. But no, really just a lot of nice ones, I think, on the whole deal. So I also just want to comment too, Mike, I appreciate the whole slide on the room tax. I think having that in every presentation, because it just gives us as a board, you know, a little bit of a dashboard, little dashboard read where we're at, you know, when we're making some of these decisions. So I think that's great.
Yes, question, has creator camp happened anywhere? Like, is this a thing? Is this a?
So we trademarked Reno Tahoe Creator Camp as a part of going into this because we do want to own that in this space. So there is a creator camp that takes place, I believe, in Texas, but it's it's for kids. It's like a craft camp, I would say, like a creating camp with kids. It's not with creators as in influencers.
And you're saying we trademarked that? I mean, that's.
Yeah, we worked with legal and then he was also a huge because I was like, what do we do with this? What do we do with that? And I really applaud him in all of my emails because we wanted to do it right. You know, we wanted to get all of our ducks in a row and we ended up yeah, I think it might still be in the process, but trademarking the name and the logo.
I think it's just like the opportunity with what you guys built is phenomenal. I mean, obviously we're looking at this space in the summer, but we're not even addressing what our amazing area looks like in the winter, right?
Oh, they've asked for a winter one already.
Yeah.
They have committed to it on stage, like.
But and then, you know, looking at the experiences, you know, our gaming facilities, right? The next iteration, like I'm blown away at what you guys built as the first iteration. It's only gonna get more amazing. So congratulations, you guys. Phenomenal. It's great.
It's outstanding and above my pay grade. It was really good.
Well, you even forget, like, I mean, those of us that have been around this market for a long time. Even when she was just getting, I've seen the deck and going through it, I'm like, you forget how much there's to do here, right? It's like so many opportunities. And just crazy.
I don't really do Instagram. I just try to go on there to keep up with my daughter.
I follow her, by the way.
Stay tuned, stay tuned. But you know, just to see what you did, I'd like to visit with you sometime and actually really understand this.
Happy to
Because I think this is, you, like you say, $100,000, you're getting a big bang for your buck, and this is what we need.
Yes.
We need, there's just so much to do in this area, and I can give you a guide, a local guy to jump on this and help you out to create more and more.
Yep.
Ideas to do around here. I mean, I've got to hiking, mountain biking and all that stuff. It's wonderful, but fly fishing, I mean, up on the Truckee River is some of the best fly fishing in the world, right? Just up on the other side of Truckee, right? And that one Bobby Knight, coach for the Indiana Boosters, I think it was. He came out here to speak to the governor's dinner, but he came out here for one reason, to go fishing on the Truckee. You know, I mean, that's one little thing. And we got huge things to do around here. Biggest problem is the air service coming in here, and that's really a big problem. Good, thank you.
It's
Thank you. I just want to quickly thank Art for the mega fan publicly here. Art and I are both on the executive committee for the Reno Tahoe territory. This was Art's baby all along. We got grant funding from Travel Nevada to pull this off. Art coordinated it, Art and his team, 16, you know, tour operators, airline sales, in destination, both Las Vegas and Reno. You really pulled that off well, Art. So thank you for all that heavy lifting.
A lot of moving parts up there.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, any other comments? If I'm accurate on the agenda, I think we've hit all the agenda items, right?
Yeah, I think we're
Public
G.
comment.
Yeah, board member announcements, reports and updates.
Okay, and so public comment? Do we have
Are there any board member announcements?
Oh, I'm sorry. Any board member announcements? Okay,
Public comment?
public comment?
No public comment.
Okay, oh wait, I get to the actually.
Thank you. I do this to know.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Of course. Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Great.
That was awesome.
Good stuff.
Put more on.
Wow. Thank you, you too.